How are we doing?
Something that I've been so looking forward to, Matt. Thank you so much for inviting me to your program, to your show, and for this greeting. So it's a lot
There
of fun.
we
I'm
go.
fine. How are you?
Yeah, that was the highlight of the whole gig. So you're in Moscow, I'm in London. This new beginnings. Are you feeling optimistic, pessimistic? How are you feeling?
Well, certainly I try to feel optimistic because we're still in the month of January, and January is a month when we make new resolutions, New Year's resolutions, when we make new plans, and hopefully this new year will bring us more joy than the previous year, and there'll be more certainty. Um, so yes, I'm feeling optimistic.
Well, let's flash back. Let's get into a time machine for 2020. Did anything stir you as that sort of planning phase? What were you thinking was possible last year? Probably didn't happen.
See, the thing is, last year about the same time, I also was kind of thinking about New Year's resolutions, my plans for the next year, and speaking of the expression, if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. Yeah. Last year, I wanted to be the year of collaborations. And it's an interesting idea that I borrowed from a friend of mine who sits down at the end of each year and plans for the next year. And she attaches a new word to the new year, kind of like, philosophically, metaphorically. She wants the new year to be about, for example, breakthroughs or collaborations or travels or partnerships, whatever. So I thought it's a great idea to think of a word that you want to be your theme, yeah, throughout the year. For last year, I thought collaborations would be great because it's something that, people like us, trainers, lecturers, interculturalists, something that, we're always open to, and we want to sort of transcend our skills and knowledge to other countries, places, people. So I thought it was going to be about collaborations. When the whole thing with the pandemic started and our first lockdown in March, I started feeling less optimistic about things because travels were limited, borders closed, we couldn't leave our apartments or houses. The only traveling we could do is from the living room to the kitchen, and that was it. And of course, a lot of people with a sense of humor try to
Yeah, yeah.
make jokes about it all. But then people switched to the online mode and started exploring things online, um, sort of reviving their connections and ties with other people, looking at their contacts, like, the business cards of people that you had. So going
Yeah,
through the stack of business
yeah.
cards, thinking, right, who should I say hello to? Because all of a sudden, all of us, wherever we live, no matter what country we come from, what language we speak, we found ourselves in the same boat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every single person on this planet. We were all sitting at home with no ability to travel, but just sitting in front of the computer connected to the internet. That was a good thing. So yeah, it gave me a chance to reconnect with a lot of people. So
Lovely, lovely.
um, and a lot of people reconnected with me. So that was a good thing.
Brilliant.
And then again, I thought, oh, collaborations, here we go. So we could do something while we are online, while we are sitting at home and not traveling anywhere. Actually, we could get things done. A lot of people started having Zoom interviews, conferences, gigs, events.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was all fun.
Those Zoom shares went up. No, I did exactly the same. So I'll just tell you a quick story about that, and then I'll come back to you. No, business fell off a cliff. Let's be honest. And so
True.
I called everybody who held a purse of gold.
Mm.
Everybody. So if I called you last year, I guess you had a piece of gold. Actually, something has just come back this morning from one of those conversations. Would I do some diversity and a cultural piece? You're thinking that was from a call whenever it was last September. So it's really worked. So we'll go back to you. You made those contacts. Were there any surprise outcomes? Were there any delightful outcomes from those reconnections?
See, the thing is, what's interesting is that when we switched to the online mode, so to speak, yeah, um, I think for a lot of people, myself included, it was very challenging at first because I, although I consider myself an introvert, some people may
As
disagree.
we are all seeing right now.
But nonetheless, I felt uncomfortable communicating with people online because I wanted that sort of physical presence. I wanted to be in
Yeah,
front of
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
students. I wanted to be in front of my
yeah,
clients, talking to
yeah,
people, exchanging jokes, etc., etc.,
yeah,
etc.
yeah.
And I had to adjust to that. So that was the most difficult thing to adjust. But then again, I looked at it in a positive way. I thought, okay, it's something new that I'm learning. It's a new way of communicating with people. Yeah. So you have to break through that screen of your device that you have and let your energy also go through that,
Love it.
and reach the person you're talking to. So for me, that was an interesting discovery, like personal thing to master. And like, you sit down at the end of the day with a piece of paper and write down the things that you've learned, things that you want to improve, etc., etc. So that was one of the things that I put in my notebook, saying that, okay, this is an interesting way of communicating with people. So this is our new normal. Speaking
This
of
is,
our new
yeah, yeah,
vocabulary, yeah. So that um, another thing, let's see, the technical side of things, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So important to polish our technical skills. That was another finding, another thing that I thought, okay, it's something that I need to invest my time into. I need to see what else I can do, how I can diversify my skill set here, my toolbox.